All right. And we are live.
All right, very good.
And
I won't say anything stupid.
and the Ben Jarofsky show starts right now. It is Thursday, June 24th, live from my apartment in his attic. This is the Ben Jarofsky show. I am DJ Nate, filling in for the one and only Dr. D. Today in the program, we have the great Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor. And now, your host, Chicago Reader columnist, Ben Jarofsky.
Hello, everyone. We're calling this Good Trouble Thursday, and here's of all. Yes, indeed, the voice you heard is not Dennis. That is not Dennis. Our vacation. That's Nate, as he said, DJ Nate, our weekend bonus with Dr. D, not a doctor on vacation. And by the way, Nate is not a doctor either. DJ, so you could say he's a doctor of DJology. He does affirmations, mitzvahs, however you need it, you give him a call, right? Wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it. No, I still don't believe it. To see it live, the for yesterday's show, my friends and guests and fellow Chicago political junkies were texts about it. We've been talking about it ever since. And yesterday's Mayor Lori Life called for a recess, stepped down from the podium floor and got into the face of the woman. The Alderwoman Jeanette, very good friend of the show. The mayor got in the Alderwoman's face, said, "Don't get into my face." Bad for a while. Right out the whole world to see with photography, pictures, everybody writing memes, making wisecracks. And now it's even in the old school newspapers, front pages of both. But funny sad thing about it, 100 people, exaggeration. I told a lot of people, picture of Jeanette Taylor and Lori on the front page, and sometimes in the Tribune, and nobody. I think I'm the only one in the city of Chicago who actually reads a newspaper. Literally, I'm holding up the whole industry by subscribing to them. Sorry about that tangent. By chance, I had it booked. Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor to be on my show. Why, you ask? Am I a fortune teller? Did I see the future? Stephen King novel on the front page of the Sun? No. I said, Jeanette Taylor's she's a frequent guest. Why, you ask? Is she a frequent guest on my show? Question. I will now answer it. Something interesting to say. She's not afraid to say it. She's not one of those guests you ask a question. Do the talk. I'm like, guest, you have to. Phone doesn't have a mind of its own. You can't. The guest is like, this is a guest. Hey, the mic's just staring at that guy microphone. Anyway, Taylor is not afraid to talk. And 3, maybe most important, Democratic Socialist, not afraid to talk. Like India Walton, who just may be the next mayor of Buffalo. Primary last, what was it, 2 days ago? Who's such a bad. He's talking about running a writing campaign. Come on, dude, you're better than that. You just send her a congratulatory telegram, say you're going to work with her. You tell I'm old. Sends telegrams anymore. The India Walton on her mom to tell her the news. My favorite images of the week. I don't know if you saw it, folks, but she said footage of her on the sidewalk going, "Mommy!" I've watched that thing like 20 times. Little tears. I'm streaming down my face. I'm just an old sap. Well, my first child, 14, dropped out of high school, got her G in politics. And the thing is, I'm an old guy. I'm a baby. I empathize with Walton's mother. No, I'm very proud of what India Walton's accomplished. She's 30-something years old. But I empathize with the mother who raised her through all those crises in her life. And anyone out there knows what I'm talking about. It's not a straight, my friends. It is captain of the football team, cheerleader, or the straight A student, or in the student play. Will put some serious gray in your hair. But if you have patience, you have faith, and work at it, and you don't, the kid who put that gray in your hair, mayor of Buff, God bless you. Second favorite image. This is total sports related. I'm going to say Richardson winning 100. Folks, I love track and maybe why I love it so much. She was done winning that race. She was and hugged her grandma.
Yep, I saw it.
Who probably, because her mom had died, her grandmother was like appreciation for parents. So I had some give you a little Richard, man, that, by the way, she fly, but that's a whole other story. And finally, image number 3, Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor going with Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Folks, I must say, that was inappropriate. This is me. I come, so in my humble opinion, it was really inappropriate for the mayor to run an alderman like that. We'll get into the specifics with Jeanette Taylor sitting here. I've never seen anything like it. I've been around a long time, not even during council war. In the 1980s, 29 aldermen, 28 of the white. Idea, anything it did, the first black mayor of the city on grounds that if you sabotage the Washington administration, they openly said it. And that way they were very similar to Mitch McConnell. Yeah, they said that's what they were doing, and that's what they tried. Even during those days, and somehow managed to jump down from the podium and get into someone's face. The clue came when he told him one little fist. Not even under Daley. Them Daley, already he'd get mad. The face to Daley, you know. But I never saw him leave the stage, get in their face, leave the podium. It was condescending and most condescending page met. He never left the podium. He may have like Alderman Scott Waggis back in the belly once, but at least had come to him to talk at the podium. It wasn't the other way around. So I never seen it like it. But you know what, Chicago? Voters in the city of Chicago, because I'm very disappointed, right? But I did vote for Lori Lightfoot. Everything I wanted to hear, expect a day like this one. I guess this means I really am a Chicagoan. Fair that I'm particularly happy with. We got a great, as I would say, Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor's here. Look at it. And when I originally Taylor were a list of things that I wanted to talk to her about. We meet those, but I got a feeling we're going to spend most of our what went down yesterday in Chicago City Council. For that, welcome back to the show, Cotter. It's good to see your face.
Ben, thank you for having me. Hey, Nate.
All right, let's take it step by step. And I said it was very important. I was talking before the show. Talk about what led to that moment. It's now been put on the front pages in newspapers in Chicago. This happened. There was something to it. And I keep this press statement that Mayor Lori Lightfoot issued on December 5th regarding Jeanette Young. Jeanette is a West Side resident, was taking a shower in her home, bothering no one. All of a sudden, police knocked the door, no knock, just come out of the shower. She was naked, and all of a sudden, there's like a dozen cops in her room, and they put her in handcuffs. It was probably obvious, like the first had the which But
Yep.
for about 40 minutes or so, and that case has been kicking around ever since. That was December of 19. So, Jeanette, why don't you start by talking that Mayor Lori Lightfoot has done regarding has upset you so much?
Absolutely nothing. And so Corporation Counsel contacted and Jeanette Young's lawyer and her to say either they take this $1 million or the case will be dismissed. And if you think about the humiliation that this woman went through, don't even compare, because we can never give her back the dignity I'm sure she lost standing there naked in front of all of those folks. They put a blanket on her that still exposed her, and the entire time they had her handcuffed, all to be at the wrong house, and her clearly saying, whoever you're looking for is not here. And then after they realized they were at the wrong house, they continued to look for something just to justify what they did. And so Mayor that this was disgrace. So did Superintendent Brown, that it was unfair and that we would make sure that Ms. Young would get justice. Justice is not ignoring an ordinance where Ms. Young worked with myself, Alderwoman Harrison, Alderwoman Sophia King, and Alderwoman Maria Hatton on legislation with Ms. Young and community groups and organizations. You come up with your own ordinance instead of working with us. And then the bigger tell her that her case is going to be missed by the person that you're trying to appoint to the Corporation Counsel. And so I wasn't having it yesterday. I wasn't. If people will remember, myself, Ray Lopez, and Alderwoman, excuse me, Stephanie Coleman put in an resolution to say that we should not go to court with Ms. Young, and whatever she is asking for, the city would give us. We should give her. And how we got here, I'm not sure. Corporation Counsel is supposed to represent the people, not side with the mayor, right or wrong. And so this is not about this Latinx woman. This was about the appointment to Corporation Counsel, and this was about Jeanette Young. And so Alderman Ray Lopez DP'd it, which was defer and publish, which means he said, we don't deal with this today. We wait till the next city council meeting. And of course, the second I did. And at that point, the mayor's pointing her finger and she's saying, like, meet me in the back. And so at first I thought she was talking to Nick Spozzato because he sits like right in front of me. You know, all the freshmen and the people with no seniority are in the seats where usually our neighbors sit. And so then she's like, no, I'm pointing to you. What I thought she was going to do was say to me, can you please reconsider? You know, we'll talk about that. We can negotiate this. We can talk about it, but don't do this. She comes to the back. She gets in my face. We chest taller than her. She's screaming and she has her finger in my face. And I'm like, when you see my hand go up, I'm saying, lower your voice and get your hand out of my face. So eventually she puts her hand down, but she continues to scream at me. And I'm like, I'm a grown ass woman. I am not a child. Stop yelling at me. And so she continued to yell. And I said, ever since they've given you this power during COVID-19, you've lost your mind. You block everything that we've tried to do for our people, and you become problematic. Clearly, you don't understand that I am your coworker. You are not my boss. And until you, us, and this city work together, Chicago is not going to move. She threw up her hand and she walked away. And so from the pictures that were taken, it looked like I was attacking her when I was the one who was initially attacked. And what she is used to do is people backing down. I'm a Black woman just like she is, struggling in this space. I got grown kids. My mother has never done that to me, and I'm definitely not going to let you do it. And so when a bully continues to bully you, you stand up to the bully. And she was definitely acting like a bully yesterday. I'm disappointed. I don't like what she did because this is a woman that I text. This is a woman that I check on. I don't don't agree with her politically, and I had this conversation with her when I first got into office. My lived experience tells me something different, but I don't have to disrespect you. I'm not calling you little Lord Larry or Lori. I'm not doing any of that. It's your politics, and that's it. And so for her to mistreat me like, she owes me an apology, and I want that apology to be just as loud as that disrespect.
All right. Jeanette, a lot to there. And by the way, I didn't mention this in the opening when I heard you do the recitation. Was when with Rom. Now this was behind the Jeanette, not in the city council, but when president of the Chicago Teachers Union, and great figure in Chicago politics, in my humble opinion. Anyway, and would have been the mayor in 2015. Right there.
Yep.
But first met with Rom. I think it was 2011. I forget when it was. And he said, "We're fuck you, Lewis." Where? He picked the wrong because Karen Lewis was.
He did,
and it was like you. It's like says that to me. My husband doesn't talk. Nobody talks to me that way. You know, and I think there's something about mayors in the city of Chicago. Jeanette, I've been thinking about this. Give them all that prestige. They appoint all the people on all the boards and the bodies. They run this council meetings. The chairs of this. Just think about the legislative body. Jeanette Taylor. The mayor names the chairs. It's like we have to have the control. We have to have the mayor. Because if our mayor is not in charge of everything, our city, and it will be like hell. All this power, Jeanette Taylor heads. It happened daily, Rom, and now it goes to their heads, and they start thinking they're like
all three of them. I've had in all three of their faces. I'm okay with it because I say all the time, I don't care if it's Beyonce, I don't care if it's Queen Elizabeth. It is dangerous to this democracy, and she is no different.
Get down and the Jeanette Young matter. The lawyer in Mesa is now Mayor Lightfoot, and Mayor Corporation Counsel. Corporation Counsel is the chief lawyer for the city. Department, very powerful and important. Full-time chief Chicago was Mark Flessner. I believe his name is doing it. And he stepped down with Jeanette. Somehow or other was his.
Because of Young.
He stepped out over.
If he stepped down as Jeanette Young, then you go disrespect Jeanette Young and then try to appoint her.
He was so Europe
is a mix.
Is based on what in particular has has upset you?
For me, it's not about her. It's a council being for the people. You're supposed to protect the citizens, not side with the mayor of the city council, period. So it's never about her. Don't know a lot about her. Ain't heard some of the greatest things about her, but it ain't about her at all. And so let's kill that rhetoric right there. It is not. It is about the mistreatment of somebody we know that was wrongly mistreated by people the taxpayers pay for. That's what this is about. Nothing more, nothing less. They tried to twist it, and I'm trying to cut the Latinx. No, not. No, it has nothing to do with it. It's about Corporation Counsel realizing who they represent and who they're supposed to work with, and it ain't the mayor.
Is there a?
She took it so personal.
She took it so personal.
Yes.
Is there a settlement that to Jeanette Young that the city should entertain?
$1 million is a slap. Whatever she asking for. You know how many police that we approve? You know how many fire chiefs and firefighters we approve a lawsuit for women they sexually harass? You know how much we spend it in lawsuits for wrongful actions of the police? Whatever she asking for. She needs that and the kitchen sink. If this was a white woman, this wouldn't even be a conversation.
So agree with you on that last. So Fern published strategy that and Lopez employed. It's available any Chicago City Council. Part of the rules. It puts off for until only a month away action on this particular matter for many. So in case, if let's say you did get that as the mayor immediately meeting for this Friday, so it's an extra day. Did that month? Would have liked to have seen extra time in terms and kind of settlement or agreement.
I would like for her to have a real conversation with Ms. Young. What is it that she wants? Because Ms. Young made it very clear to us that it wasn't about money. It was about having legislation to change the way police do no-knock raids. And so whatever this woman is asking for, when the mayor and the superintendent of police say this was wrong, and then we backtrack and like take this or leave it, come on. Come on. Who stands up for everyday people? I didn't get into politics to go along to get along. I came here because I want to create change and I want to bring people to the table who normally the city ignore. And so Ms. Young is a person that would be ignored. If there was never a videotape, nobody would even believe Ms. Young. And so the thought that this kind of do this to her is wrong. It's wrong as all. And so the same way that she could use her power to stop something from going to city and council, I'm gonna use my power to stop things she wants to do. She stopped the meeting. She stopped Lakeshore Drive from being called. When we were trying to do marijuana and not call the vote because we could get more votes, she stopped that.
One of the things that caught me off guard, Jeanette, you're a part in this Alderman Raymond Lopez. He just happened to be. So I teasingly texted him like I published this week. Defer was on Tuesday and publishes on Thursday. Raylo on. He is to the where most of my guests are, but I always say we should listen to Democrat. He's on the right side of Democrat. He's got different attitude policing. Important that Democrats not just speak to their, if you follow what I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like get your friends together. Mm-hmm. There's other people out there. You should talk to them. Mine at MAGA, but be a little more open-minded on the show. So around come about that you and Raylo decided that would be the two do this to Fern Public.
So we share Inglewood together, and I want people to understand why I don't agree with any of Nick Spossato's nothing. I agree with none of his policies, none of his politics. I respect him as my coworker, period. So Ray Lopez, I don't always agree with what he do, and I'm sure it's, but I respect him as a coworker, and he was one of the very first people to say, let's stand up for Miss Young. And that's one of the reasons is because people don't understand he represents a Black and Latinx ward, which I have a part of. And so clearly he's speaking for some the folks that he represented his ward. I think we forget that these jobs that afford us this lifestyle we have, we get them because we're supposed to represent the people in our ward. So that's how this came about.
Again, publish is you it for point out it's used all the time. In fact, we had this Jeanette last month. Moore has been a guest on the show. Well, his proposal to drive from Lakeshore Drive to was to come before the Chicago City Council and put down. He had the votes. He had the votes to override a veto. He claims he has the votes to pass it. All right. Sophia, woman of the 4th Ward, who was by that endeavor, her hand to be called on by the mayor for a roll call on that vote. Swears up down that her hand was in here. This is like with the mayor. Swears up and down that her hand first, but instead of picking on her, which would have called for a roll call, Lori Lightfoot picked on Brian Hopkins. Nowadays, we call it on this show because he got $1 billion worth for Lincoln Yards project. Blame you for that, Alderwoman Jeanette, City Council when they passed it, and I know you would have voted against it. So she called on Brian Hopkins, and Sophia King said, "Oh, come on, Madam President." In other words, this is a tactic I defer publish. Well, she had extra month to try to to support to stop my proposal. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
So this is a dual practice, Alderman, and it's not that unusual. That's her counterpunch that she's put out in the press, that what you guys did was so outrageous. What's your response to that?
To the person who does it more than anybody, or her chairs, or people that ride with her to do what? She's special. I'm gonna say this. I'm boss. She's my coworker, and as soon as she understands, better off she'll be. I'm elected. My job is people in my community, and so I have the right to use their power me to use in this seat to protect their interests. She does it all the time, and she doesn't follow rules. Look how crazy the city council meetings have been going. They've been passing out Robert Rules of Order. She needs to be the first person to read it, because clearly she doesn't follow protocol.
There was, by the way, a letter that was signed by, and that went out today. I believe you were one of the. Talk a little bit about that. And it called on Mayor Lori Lightfoot consistently follow the rules order in City Council, to use the rules to prop up whatever she wanted. Why did you sign that letter, Jeanette?
Because it's the right way. Let's not act like people from around the country are not watching these city council meetings. And this looks like dictatorship and not democracy. That's why this letter went out. And so just because you're the mayor doesn't mean you don't have to follow the rules. You have to follow the rules like everybody else.
Mayor Lightfoot, since all this down yesterday?
Nope.
Yeah. You heard from Celia.
I think she did anything wrong. She doesn't.
Has anybody
she does anything wrong? Okay.
Have any ever reached out to you? Any legislative bonds or aides or allies? Anybody?
So My IG person is a young lady named Amanda. And me and Amanda talk about almost everything. And so Amanda called me today just to ask about where I was on Lakeshore Drive and asking me about the defer and publish because I don't have to. But I told Amanda I was not happy about young, and they gonna hear about it from me. I let that be known. So this shouldn't have been a shock to them because I said what I said. And so the thought that I wasn't able to do this without being attacking, she walked right past Ray Lopez to attack me.
No.
Anybody notice? She walked right past him. Oh no.
Why
This is
I went directly to you?
because he and her get into it all the time. He knew for a fact that he was gonna get with her. She didn't think I would. That's it. She didn't think that I would say anything to her. And had she come back to me in the right way, I wouldn't have. I would have listened to what she said and I would heard what you said. But as an elected official that represents the people, I'm doing what I think is right. It didn't have to go that way. She started it. I just finished it.
Do you think she thought she could have? So,
I surely think.
so what's this matter? It'll come before the city council on. Do you plan to speak about it?
You probably gonna defer and publish again. Other people could do.
You know, I'm not a parliamentarian. I don't even pretend that I'm a parliamentarian. I'm not sure you could do it twice.
Anytime
But these days,
you can DP the whole meeting. Seen it done before. They've DP'd
although it's that the parliament and say that's don't people do whatever they want, change the rules all the time. So maybe it'll be changed once again. You can only do it once. We shall see what goes down Friday. All right, let's move on. Jeanette, here, get your thoughts on some of the other issues. And we'll start with something we've been talking a lot about that on the cast on. Which yes to change to disable drive, or are you going to vote no? Go ahead.
I'm not going to vote on the compromise. They want to compromise and call it Sabo Lakeshore Drive. It's not what the community said it wanted, but we originally agreed to. And so, no, I'm not voting on that.
Is that the measure that's going to?
No.
Is that final?
That's the
Did
measure
David Moore
that's going
agree to
to
that?
be this co-name, yes. So that's what we should have about it. What I don't like is the organization along with Moore and Alderwoman Sophia King been working on this for 2 years. They clearly could have did this in problem before now. They waited to the last minute to come and stop this, and so that's not fair. And I'm not gonna go along with that. That's not right. That's not fair to Alderman Moore or Alderwoman Sophia King. And so no, I'm not voting on the compromise. If in this Trump lane, it would have been done yesterday. This is about this being a Black man that we want to, that who discovered Chicago, that we want to name after of it. Now it's a problem. You know why you laughing?
I don't know. I don't even know if
That's why you laughing.
name it after Donald Trump. Maybe Napolitano, but I don't know. Even I don't think Nick Pizzotta would vote for Donald Trump. Maybe they could find one alderman. Fraternal order, please.
I would be surprised, but I guarantee you. Really?
And I have off guard the opposition, and I had fun And that song about Lakeshore Drive, which I really like, is an old 70s song, but my attitude about call it whatever I want to call it. They change things all the time. Change White Sox Park. Right. I still call it White Sox.
Me and you both. Sears Tower, Willis Tower. I still call it the Sears Tower. Not changing what it is to me.
Yeah, so I have to call it the United Stadium because that's what I grew up with at Chicago State. Catch me off guard. I have position. Again, I don't know who Mayor Lori Lightfoot is listening to, but why she cares so much. Serious topic we're facing.
If we was naming this Trump lane, it'll be done. It wouldn't be no question about it. They would wrangle up votes. They would do whatever they have to do to justify the doing it. Because this is a Black man who discovered Chicago. It's all this, well, we don't know, and we got to pay to change our IDs and blah, 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 blah. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. Foolishness.
So anyway, Friday's vote. See how that one works out. The other matter that I'd love to get your thoughts on, kind of what I was saying in my opening remarks. Lopez was on the show, as I said, on Tuesday. Proposal. We debated it a little bit. Hold parents accountable if for the criminal of their children. So, I was arrested for getting kind of trouble. You may have to pay a fine or may have to go to attend some kind of class, a parent accountability. But would effectively be held by the powers for the action. That Raymond Lopez.
It's a no.
Your thoughts on that?
No. It's a hell no. We teach our kids one thing, they go out in the world and people show them something totally different. Peer pressure is an influence. And while I got mad respect for him, he don't know. I got 5 kids. They got 30 different personalities apiece. And I never know who to wake up in the morning. So I'm supposed to be accountable because they're under some type of pressure in the community that Lord knows I didn't teach them. And I'm supposed to be responsible. Please have some children and understand how parent. I got 3 boys and 2 girls. My girls, I their mother, they don't care about standing up to who. They will do it. My sons, they're men that take care of, at least my oldest 2. My baby, he's still home with me. But they are men that take care of the women. They want to go to when they was in high school. They barely made it because they didn't want to. They didn't see the reason for wanting to go. And that was nothing I forced on them. Boy, he do what middle kids do, whatever he want to do to get attention. And so because attention, I'm gonna go to jail or I got a fine or no, go. It's a no. That's not how we change the city, the dynamics. Stop funding the police and we make sure that we put money in programs and after school and summer jobs and people make a living wage. We can get rid of some of this violence. Y'all, and a Band-Aid on a bullet woman. That's exactly what this ordinance will do. It's a no for
that point is, in my humble opinion, that Raymond Jeanette you're to that bill and his that shows remarkable was that you that young
but that's what all my coworkers. I don't agree with Nick Posado, but I'll go against his politics all day long. I know he pro-police. In his eyes, the police never do anything wrong. When clearly we all looking at a camera at Miss Anjanette Young standing butt naked, and they did nothing. And they at the wrong house. Where was the recruit in? Where was they at? So I don't agree with this politics. But that don't mean that's not who I am. Alderman Ed Burke was there before I was born. And he clearly was trying to say, this is how you run a meeting. This is how you do. And I don't know the decisions he ever made and what he's done, but I got respect for him. You ain't gonna never see me disrespecting him. It's not what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Experience makes us who we are, and they tell us sometimes move.
I've Ed at the leader of council independent from the mayor. I have to laugh. This I'm old enough to remember of Ed Burke. He was the leader of against Mayor Washington. And so he was always talking about independence. And this is me speaking, not Jeanette Taylor. He's talking about city council and as soon as Harold Washington has passed, Gene Sawyer has been did by Ed Burke takes all that experience he has and all how the city council is independent right around becomes a tool for and he used that experience as through all these full, unfair, inequitable. Richard M. Dams, he's speaking out, Alderwoman Jeanette. All that mastery of the legislative he used to get the sell the parking meters for Olympics in park away from the people and turn it over to the then every time tiff deal. He did the same thing for Rahm. Then he gets caught indictment and Lori Lightfoot uses him, as a bag to get successful. And now all of a sudden he goes back to his days as a council. I got to tell you, Jeanette Taylor, I have a little Ed Burke being the face of council independence. Your thought?
Agreed. Who's made more money off city contracts and being somebody's lawyer than Ed Burke? Nobody else. And so, but I always go back to this. When we were talking about the CARES Act money, and he was telling us that it was spent on the police. That was not nothing that was ever publicized. And until he said something, we did not know. And they were supposed to do door knocking. And I ain't never seen the police in my community knocking on doors. I didn't happen with me. So I'm confused. Now you the voice of reasoning, but he knows better, which makes it worse. Like, but now you really know better. But that's because you on the out, so you might as well do right.
Yeah. Hair's getting a little longer. Hippie. A social an attic overlooking an alley, I should say.
When he does, I'll be okay.
Funny. I don't think he's going to be a guest in the show anytime. Ed Burke.
All right. Thank you. People to come.
Parkway Gardens. And this is in your war about what's going on in this issue.
So Parkway Gardens is a 20th ward that stretches from 63rd King Drive to 65th and King Drive. It's a 200 unit. At some point, it was where First Lady Michelle Obama grew up. It was co-opted at one time, and it was a gated community. Over the years, it has passed over to different owners, and they've disinvested in the families that live there. The building receives, and it also receives money from IDA. And so low income and work in this space. Related Midwest has owned it for the last 8 years and have not done right by the community. And so for the last year and a half, along with Senator Maddie Hunter, Cook County Commissioner Dennis Deere, Robinson have all worked together to try and make sure that those families are protected and get the resources they need. And so because of that fight, related management was going to sell. And so I had a conversation about how is it that related management gets to mistreat families and low income and working families, and we gift them with the 78 project downtown, which is what, a $1 billion, $1 million project. And so we gift people for mistreating low income and working. What we gonna do? And so they've decided not to sell, but I have the word of the mayor and hood that they're going to create some real change in the community. And I'm there along with people who is at Parkway Garden Church. You got Officer Maddox who runs Future Sides, and other folks who want to wrap their Project Hood for Pastor Brooks, who want to wrap their hands around give it the support it needs. And thank you to those families, because if the families had not brought to the forefront what was going on in Parkway Gardens.
Do you feel that this is a case administration listened to you and did the right thing?
We will see in the next 6 months. We will honestly see. I have a call with them very soon about how we are talking to neighbors and how are they doing with the upkeep? What are they doing with? What I don't realize is it was voted the most dangerous block in the city, and a lot of the shootings and things that actually happen in that complex are not even the people who actually live there. But that's told. They don't talk about how the families have a piece of playground, no real grass. The program that supports the families that Officer Maddox run is run in a basement, and she can only accommodate probably 75 kids when there are 200 families. This is a disinvestment in community members because of what they make and what they look like. And so I'm doing my job as usual to make sure protected, and Related Midwest does what they want to do. Did I mention Related Midwest also owns the Miami Dolphins? And so people who can afford to do right by my community, that's not okay.
And they also, Alderwoman
Pointed out
right now looking to be the benefit $1 billion TIF deal to redevelop a huge
TIF that didn't exist. Don't leave that out.
Yes.
That was a TIF that didn't exist.
Yes, that was a TIF that did not exist.
I'm just saying.
At the last meeting of the show, Mayor
Emanuel.
I got to say this. That last meeting of the show is just brought up more grief on how the mayor
Lightfoot really
over bounds of propriety and acted inappropriately when she
confronted you
on the floor of
City Council.
Last meeting of Mayor
the Chicago City Council
was so disrespectful to the entire city, because that was the out of Chicago, and a lot about going on shouldering
us
with quite obligations,
Jeanette Taylor,
for these gentrifying areas, public subsidies, areas that are already doing well. Don't go to the
ward,
could gardens, could turning some of these schools that they close, and you know,
around the clock
stuff. Every mayor says that it could go to that, but instead
promises. They promise that in their speeches when they're trying to get you to vote for them. I believe in homelessness. I believe in opening mental health clinics. I believe in making sure people make a living wage. I want to make sure that people got a job, and then they get there and they do absolutely nothing.
Explains maybe the frustration that Taylor. Now, I think it was a couple shows ago. I forget back. We were talking about that you had with regarding projects if you didn't vote, and I forget when exactly that. There's been confrontations between the mayor and
This was
track
the
of them all.
meeting at a Black Caucus meeting, and she basically said to us, if you don't budget for the next 3 years, don't ask me for shit. And so I said to her, so I for a property tax increase that my community already can't afford, and we got enough cameras, that red light cameras, that we don't need. You're going to add more money to them for less speed. I want to agree. I want to protect my community. I'm gonna be. And she was like, I said, I'm tired of people saying they're going to do this and then they do so. I said, I never told you I was going to vote on your budget. I'm not going to vote on anything that hurts my community or makes them come out of their pockets when we're already struggling. So I never said that to you. But the thought that you would hurt my community because me and you politically don't agree says a lot as a person.
Concern that you may try to punish today.
She better not. She gonna have to answer to my community. She gonna have to answer to my community. That's what that is. And I'm not concerned. She better not. You ain't seen a fire like the one I'm gonna start. You do not do that. It's not me and you fighting because of some person. This is me trying to protect my community. And any and everybody that knows me knows that I'm passionate. I talk with my hands and I speak from my heart, and I'm listening to my people. Even sometimes when I don't agree with how they feel sometimes. Or obligation to do right by my community. And I ain't drinking the. I'm gonna do what's right by them if I stand alone. And a lot of times I stand up. I came in this world by myself.
Tell this, Jeanette, we haven't. This was in the Sun Times, I think it was. Corner, and that every 10 years, reapportion ward maps of Chicago to make sure that it's roughly the same number of. And redistricting, Jeanette, in the city, going back to the one they had in 19. Been following districting paths for a long. They look to punish. They like. Solomon didn't play along. We're going to get rid of them. That's what they did to Fioretti, Bob Fioretti. 2011.
I remember.
Second ward, Hopkins ward, bears no resemblance to the old second ward.
That's right.
Way of letting Fioretti know what they thought of him. Yeah. So
the second ward was the gap up. I know. Yep.
So do you have any concerns that they're going to do that to you in such a to threaten your election?
So I'm a lawyer. I've had several lawyers reach out wanting to help me. I could either go east. High Parkers love me. I could go west. I have back of the yard in Inglewood. I'm making ways in those spaces because I accommodate my Latinx part of the community. I make sure that there's somebody in my office that speaks Spanish. I make sure the meetings are translated in Spanish. And I'm learning back of the yards. Back of the yards is a community that's tough because it's Black and Latinx. And that community has never been able to kind of mend and blend the way it should. Take advantage of it politically instead of getting each other and knowing that each other's issues are their own. And so I was worried with them going down to Springfield trying to get to 26 and now to 34, I guess. But I'm gonna stick with the process. And if I feel like I'm being bamboozled, I'm gonna call it out. I know the price for standing up for my people. I know the price for being honest. People have good people in this country have given up their lives. I ain't gonna be no different. I knew this fight was gonna be when I got here, but I know I can't compromise who I am, and I can't compromise my people.
All right, fair enough. Jeanette, on today, I appreciate. I first when we're gonna go back, and I've had it talking about this.
Not to you, maybe to other people. No, you are a friend of this city. You are one of Chicago's very own, and that's just what it is. And nobody truth tells, whether you like them or not. You always bring the truth, and you don't have that in media a lot. So I was never gonna turn somebody who I feel like my brother is down, and I am exhausted. This phone been ringing this day too, of interviews and talks, and it just went somewhere that I couldn't explain. And I owe it to the community. I owe it to the people to explain what happened and give them my side, because the pictures don't look good. They look horrible. It's like, rest in peace, mommy. If my mother was alive, she my whole name, called me in the room and was like, did you have to do this, daughter? Like, I get you had a point to make, baby, but did you have to do it like this? Did you? And I would have said in my child voice, mommy, she started it. Mommy, she got in my face. It wasn't me, it was her. Like, I feel the need to explain to myself and so people could understand. But my mother be like, Jeanette Beatrice Taylor, come here. And I'm a grown woman. I'm a grown 46-year-old woman. I would humble myself to my mother, and I humble myself to elders, but disrespect just ain't gonna be taken in here, right or wrong. And what all the time, what bothers me the most is I wouldn't have never did that to her, ever. I don't do it to anybody. So that's what it is. But at the end of the day, I need Chicago to stand up and make sure Jeanette Young get what she needs and what she deserves.
Right, everyone, and Jeanette Young gets in the show as well. In that interview, it's a very powerful. She's about what to her, and with Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor, and this one, you got to make it right. I think the city has done wrong. This is Jeanette Taylor has done wrong to those officers' personal room. This is where lost me. I voted for Lightfoot. That city council at that press conference, she had never heard about this. Started lecturing Gregory Pratt at the Tribune that wrong when he had his right
and lied. Told. And to be honest, she's never been a liar. I felt like before. She's always said, I don't like something, I'm not gonna do something. I always felt like she was a straight shooter. I didn't like what she had to say, but I felt like she was a straight shooter until the Jeanette for me. That was it for me. Like, you can't be serious.
Yeah.
You didn't see it when they sent it to you? Say you didn't watch it. Say you don't. Say, let me get back to you, because it ain't crossed my mind, but you openly lied. And so y'all continue to hurt this Black woman? No.
There is no way to be confronted with what went to house in December of 2019 and say you forgot it, unless you have Alzheimer's. The notion. Oh, all I gotta do, Jeanette Taylor, is tell somebody in the North Side, you know, the naked lady. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Everybody the naked knows that. They saw it on Channel 2. Dave Seville knows that. So nobody believes that she forgot it, because you're not going to forget something like that. Anyway, Jeanette Taylor, thank you very much for taking the time. All right, we need you in the Chicago. So practice some, do that stretching, and you'll feel better. You'll get over this. All right, Jeanette.
All right, thanks, man.
Great, Alderwoman Taylor, good friend there for quite a while. Remember when she was in local school, causing good trouble I'm Allison. And
see my shirt. Ben, you see my shirt?
all right. See the button. Tell me. Yeah. Who's saying it?
The good old folks
Who's the
they sent it to me.
We'll close with India Walton and Mom
India
Walton. Job raising that kid. That's all I gotta say. God, so many trials,
tribulations?
Jeanette,
Thank you very much.
I want to thank DJ Nate, of Joy of Lane Tech High School. Jeanette Taylor. Dr. D, give yourself a raise. BK. Tomorrow, everybody.